This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, Mr. Otto Wallin. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Nice to have you here. I know you're joining us from New York. How are things at the minute? I know that you had an outing on the 27th of Jan, I believe. A little bit of inactivity for you, but nice to just get the rounds in.
Yeah, good. I mean, I gotta stay active. That's the most important. I can't just sit around and do nothing. So, I take really the fights that I can get right now, and good get some rounds in and stay sharp.
Well, let's sort of speak a little bit about the position that you are in at the minute, because I was just doing a little scroll through BoxRec, and obviously I remember seeing you on UK shores when you fought Kamil Sokolowski. And then I was quite shocked to see that your last fight was only the other week. Has it been difficult for you mentally? Obviously, I know that you had that Tyson Fury fight, and it must have felt like a real breakout for yourself to then sort of obviously this position now. Is it a little bit difficult?
Yeah, I'll be honest and say that it's been frustrating at times. I had the Fury fight. Then after that, I had two good fights on Showtime against uh, Kaufman and Dominic Brazil. Then I was gonna fight Dillian Whyte, of course, in 2021. He pulled out last minute, so that didn't happen. And then since then, it's been really hard to get significant fights, and it's been a little frustrating. I think that I deserve big fights, and I haven't got one now in 2 years. So it's a little bit frustrating.
Well, let's sort of pick up on that. Obviously, one of the reasons, and I remember your name was linked to Anthony Joshua, and obviously one of the reasons that they didn't go for someone like yourself or Dempsey McKean is obviously because you're a southpaw. How difficult is this when it comes to making fights and contracting and fights? Obviously, we know what happened with the Dillian Whyte fight. Obviously, the pull out because he had that shot at Fury, but people aren't always going to take a southpaw as their first pick. What do you feel like now you've got to do to make sure you are picked?
I think that I just have to stay active, stay relevant, and also keep climbing the rankings. I got pretty good rankings right now. I think I'm number three in WBO and what, nine in WBC, IBF, I think, something like that. So I think that I gotta climb the rankings, keep making a name for myself, so people see more of a reward to fight me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people sees me as high risk and low reward right now. By having good rankings, and I think that can be more attractive to people.
Okay. And then obviously, like I said, Anthony Joshua, that was a fight that was spoke about. Obviously you yourself and other fighters, whenever you get linked to someone in a fight, you're not going to be, too excited. You're just going to be hoping that it is cool. But when you saw the Franklin fight was made, were you sort of a little bit disappointed? You thought that that would have been a good opportunity for yourself?
Well, I've been in boxing for so long now, so anytime my name is mentioned or whatever, I hardly get excited anymore. It was the same thing actually when I fought Fury. I knew that they reached out to me and this and that, but I felt like they're probably reaching out to a lot of guys. And but then as the week went on, I remember it started becoming more and more real. So that with Fury, that was cool. But now, I mean, there's so many fights that has been canceled over the years, and my name linked with guys and this and that. So unless I have a real offer and see a contract, it's hard to get excited. Even take the Dillian Whyte fight. Everything was signed, delivered, and we were gonna fight. I was heading out to England really the same day, and then he pulled out. So until you're actually in the ring, it's like trying not to be too excited.
Was there any approach from anyone at Matchroom conversations, talks perhaps regarding yourself and Anthony Joshua for April the 1st?
I think it was between Dimitri, my promoter, and their team. Uh, exactly what's being said, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Otto, no worries. Look, let's talk a little bit about, I suppose, going more into what these last, I suppose, 12 to 18 months have been like. Obviously, you had that fight with Brazil and then had the fight with Kaufman. They were post-Fury fights, obviously very active. What do you believe has happened since then? Because obviously we see you on the UK shores. Obviously, that Dillian Whyte fight was meant to happen. We were very excited for that. What do you put the reasoning down to over the last sort of 12, 18 months? And what do you now have to do? Is it just a matter of trying to stay as positive as possible? Because at the end of the day, this is your job, this is your livelihood. When things aren't going your way, it's not going to be the best.
Yeah, no, it's not the best, but I mean, in all honesty, I gotta just keep grinding, keep doing my thing, and try to get better. And so when I get a big fight that I can really perform and do well, it's been a sticky situation right now. Uh, it's it's hard. It's a lot of business in boxing, and you need good people behind you with the right deals and that. So for some reason, right now, it's been hard for us to really get significant fights.
Let me ask you about Dillian Whyte. Obviously, I know you were very amped up for that fight. A lot of people were picking you for the upset, and then, like you say, you were ready to board the flight, ready to go over to the UK and finish off your training there. But the fight fell through. Would you relish another opportunity at someone like Dillian?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I would like to fight Dylan. He's probably the number one guy on my list right now because I can't get Joshua and Fury. I would love to fight White. I don't like him. I think that I can do a job on him. So I think that's a really good fight for me. And but there seems to be no interest on his behalf. So he pulled out of the fight, showed no interest in rescheduling it. And since he fought Fury, I don't think he's mentioned my name. So you know.
When you look at his fight with Jermaine Franklin, obviously a lot of people had it close. Some people had White, some people had the draw, some people did have Franklin himself. A few people saying was a little bit of a static performance from Dillian and not what his best was. What did you think of his fight with Jermaine Franklin?
Yeah, I don't think it was great. I think that Franklin did a good job, surprised me a little bit. Uh, I actually was sparring Jermaine for some time when I was gonna fight Dillian. But he surprised me. He showed up in good shape and really put it on White. I think that could have been a draw, or I would have given it to Jermaine, to be honest. Dylan, I think that he's probably looking out at himself and feeling that he's at the back end of his career. He's not been looking great these last few fights. Got knocked out by Fury and didn't really perform with Jermaine. And so he's probably looking for a big payday now and then say bye to the sport because I don't think it's going to get any better for him.
Otto, let me ask you, sort of the heavyweight rankings itself. You find yourself within the top 10 with the governing bodies, and then if we look from a broader perspective on BoxRec, are you in a position now where you want to pursue your world ranking? I think you say you're free with a WBO, but if an opportunity comes up and it's not for world honors, and it's not going to necessarily improve your ranking, but the fight's good for you. For example, a Martin Bakole, a Pulev, a Parker, so one of these guys. Would you be just happy to get in and sort of I suppose it'd be a platform for you to be able to show your level again?
Yeah, exactly. I told my team that if we can't get those big fights, we gotta take a little bit step back and fight these other guys. All of those names he has mentioned, I would probably add maybe F.A. Ajagba, what's his name, Dempsey McKean,
Yeah.
and guys like that. And I think that's what I need to do: stay relevant and keep having good fights, putting on good performances, and then I can make sure that I'm getting those fights, and then if we get a big fight, even better.
Back to the topic, you said you've sparred with Jermaine Franklin and you were surprised by the performance he was put in. He done quite a long camp in the UK in the preparation for that Dillian Whyte fight. I know done rounds with Tyson Fury in the build up. A lot of us, you said, were surprised by the performance that he put in. He now has a big task on his hands. Anthony Joshua, April the 1st, is being seen as a redemption fight for AJ. But is it just going to be redemption for AJ, or is this maybe closer and a bit more even than some people think?
I think it's always hard to know with heavyweights, and Joshua's coming over 2 losses. I think he did better in that second fight with Usyk than the first fight, so
Yeah.
he had improved. He's got a new trainer now again, though, so we'll see what they can bring to the table. But I think people are giving Joshua too hard of a time. They're giving me such a hard time. But Joshua, honestly, he's still one of the best heavyweights out there. he did a really good job with Usyk in the second fight, and I pick him to beat Jermaine, but I don't know if it's gonna be easy. It all depends on how they both show up on the night, I think.
Jermaine's someone who, in all honesty, not a big mover, very sort of just stays there, but he's very good, very cute, good use of the shoulder, the jab, quite good head movement for a big guy. Um, what do you believe AJ's got to do? Has he got to sort of maybe sort of assert his dominance a little bit? We've seen that AJ can box in the last couple of years, but doesn't have that knockout win that perhaps the purists want to see. They want to see, a highlight real KO, one that we sort of grew up when he was the IBF champion on. What does AJ have to do in this fight?
I think that he really needs to go back to who he was. You know, he shouldn't worry too much. I think he got to go out there and just let it all hang. He's got great power, he's got good speed and everything. And I think that he go out there and use a good jab and put it on Jermaine. Jermaine is gonna be cute though, like you said, and he's gonna be dangerous too. So it's not like he has to go in there and be reckless, but he's got to have that bit of fire that he came up with. I think that he's lost a lot of confidence. Maybe that started when he lost to Ruiz, I think. So I think that the best Anthony Joshua is probably when he's being aggressive and firing good punches and punches in bunches sometimes. And don't worry too much about getting hit or this and that. But at the same time, don't be reckless. So it's a fine balance there.
Otto, Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. We're hearing any minute now. We're waiting for an announcement. It has been like that for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Fury, a former foe of yours, and someone that people say, you were one of the best performances people have put up against Tyson. Like you say, Joshua was better in the second fight with Usyk. Just firstly, how does either fighter have to go about this fight?
If we start with Usyk, he's a smaller guy, so he's obviously gonna take that awkwardness and the reach away from Fury. And to do that, he's got to be aggressive, move his head, which he's good at, and he's got good footwork. So he's got to put that together, hit the body, and try to stay on Fury. Really, he's got to make sure Fury can't clinch him and push him down when he gets close. So when Usyk got to get close and then again go to work in there. I think with Fury, he's the bigger guy, so he's got to be himself and try to keep Usyk off of him. I think he can probably outbox him, but he can also be aggressive. That might be the best way. If he can make Usyk go back, that would be the best, I think. So I think that Fury use a good jab, try to push him back, and when he gets close, clinch him and hold him, like I told about Usyk to be look out for.
I wouldn't call it a one-sided fight, but there are a lot of fans in the UK who obviously see what Tyson's done over the last couple of years and accomplished and seem to think that, going in with a good big guy should beat a good small guy. It's not always that clear. Who is the victor in your eyes? And is it a easy path to victory for Tyson? Or do you think, we look back at when he was quite a young novice pro, he struggled with a lot of smaller fighters. Will it be as simple for Tyson Fury as something?
No, I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think that I'm still picking Fury to win. He's the favorite, but I think he'd probably win a decision. But I don't think it's gonna be easy. I was smaller than Fury. I gave him a really good fight, had him cut, and I'm a southpaw. Usyk is a southpaw. Maybe Usyk can open that cut up. Who knows? But I don't think it's gonna be easy. Fury has to really be on point that night. But for me, he's the favorite, and he probably win.
Otto, thank you very much for your time, my friend. Always a pleasure speaking to you. We look forward to seeing you back in the mix soon with all the big names, whether that be someone in the top 5, top 10, or whether you have to take that first step a little bit down. Just a little message to the people watching. We want to be able to see you. We want to have you back on our shores, or at least being able to watch you from afar.
Yeah, no, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate the support, and thanks for having me on, Charlie. And I hope to do it again soon.
Otto, top man, thank you very much for speaking to us.